Hello everyone, welcome to IDGAF 1984. My name is Jeff Metric. Normally I do political commentary on here, but today I'm going to actually do a little different video. I'm going to talk about just my transition really to kind of being a vegetarian or being more of a conscious eater. And I know people say conscious eater or eat for your body, whatever, usually associate that to fat asses in this world, but that's not what I'm about. Now, I used to be a meat eater. I used to eat at least a half cup to a full cup of ground bison cooked every day. And what I realized, and my friend pointed this out to me. So I used to be a meat eater like that. Now for the past 8 days now, I've gone away from eating a more heavy meat diet. Do I still get my animal protein? Yes, I get it from eggs and cheese. Perfectly fine. But it's not so much about not being a meat eater anymore. It's about eating ethically sourced meat. Because I believe this, and you can disagree with this, and honestly, I don't give a fuck. But the animals we eat that are factory farmed do not have the best life. There's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering that they go through. I grew up on a farm as a meat eater. I believe that the only bad day an animal should have in its life is the day it's processed for food. Because then you're not taking on all that negative, that pain, that energy that they have absorbed through the torments in their life and through the hardships in their life. You're taking that on. And you'll see a lot of people will talk about just like, oh, I'm running for diabetes, I'm running for Alzheimer's, all this other stuff. And that sounds great and everything, but the one thing you can do to really help that is change your diet. Am I saying give up meat? No. But what I'm saying is start looking at it, go to farmers markets, start supporting small family-owned farms and businesses that have cattle, hogs, chickens. Go out, talk to them, because those are the people that can supply you healthy food that is humanely raised. Look at Niman Ranch. They're a phenomenal example of how to ethically raise animals, how to have ethical husbandry. And the meat is really good. When I do eat meat like twice a week, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Niman's Ranch because I've done my research on them, because I was going to get into the hog business on Niman's Ranch and working with them. And it would be, and they have very strict protocols in place, and they can do random inspections, I think like 4 times a year. They don't even have to tell you they're coming out. They just go, hey, we're here. Which I love because that keeps people honest, because if you announce an inspection, those problems can get swept away real quick and covered up. But when it's unannounced, you're out there. So it's basically like you don't get a chance to pull your pants up. Your ass exposed at that point. And that's what we need to do. I'm not saying stop eating meat. Not at all. Eat meat that is humanely raised and ethically sourced. That's handled in a way that the animal had a good life up until it was processed for your food, for your consumption. Because we as a society, the vast majority of us have lost contact with our food and how our food is produced and how our food is raised. So yeah, vegetarianism, veganism, whatever, be that if you want, but just understand that you can be a meat eater. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you're not taking on their pain and their suffering from their death and how they were living, how their life was for them. Because living in a confined building is not a good way to live a life. How would we like it if we were in a confined building? Now, granted, I'm going to get people pushing back in this channel that say, well, we wouldn't be able to feed the world if we didn't have industrialized farming. True. But people can also go out and make decisions about having stuff ethically sourced and actually meet their farmers that grow your food for you, because then you get to see how the animal is raised. You get to see how the person treats the animal. And you get to pick the animal you want, and you can buy part of it, and it's actually cheaper per pound to buy it from a farmer directly than it is to pay one of these processors that control 90% or 85% of all the meat produced in this country, processed. It's much better to do it that way. So, this was a video. Just think about where your food comes from. Think about how it's sourced, and don't beat yourself up if you slip up, but just kind of start thinking about it. That's all I ask, but as this channel is, this is me. I don't really give a fuck what you do with your life, but just make sure you're aware that there is karma and there are consequences for it. And it just is what it is. I'll give you a little anecdote, even though it's not empirical. I stopped eating meat 8 days ago. Do I still eat eggs and cheese? Yes. But here's the thing. One of my very good friends told me my stomach's actually gone down in 8 days since I'm not eating meat like that. So maybe that's something to think about. Maybe that's something to do. Until tomorrow, remember, I don't give a fuck. And honestly, neither should you, but you should give a fuck about yourself. So, sorry about that. A car almost backed into me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.